Hello, everyone. Welcome to week one, the live stream for our APA training camp. Apologies if you hear any lawnmowers in the background. My neighbor is not as big a fan of APA as you guys are. So I do want to get us started. Let's pull up the deck. So first, let me introduce the cast that will be here for you. On screen right now are myself, Matt Stewart, Ollie Morris, and Max Cassidy. If you've listened to any of the recordings this week, you've heard our voices. You might have also heard Micah Smith's voice. He is likely in chat hanging out with you guys. Lou will be joining us later to walk us through some of the things happening with the community. We are streaming on YouTube and LinkedIn Live, so if you have any connection issues in one, switch over to the other and you should be good. So week one, every single one of you would have seen these videos regardless of which track you apply to. These 4 videos are the foundation videos that will set the stage for everyone's course for the next 3 weeks. If you were in the leader track, you would have also gone through a couple of courses talking about our Pathfinder framework, seeing how to align your program to the organizational priorities that exist at your company, and then also seeing a preview of how the APA enablement framework will help you turn capabilities into results with our course on rapid AI adoption. If you were in the developer track, you would have seen Ollie talk you through human in the loop, and you would have gotten an overview from Max on model connections. Now, before I talk about what things I wanted to highlight, I want to ask my co-host here, what things from here did you guys find the most important or impactful as we were building out this curriculum? Ollie, you go first.
Firstly, credit to your neighbour getting that first lawnmower cut so early in spring. I think he needs a round of applause.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of videos, the most important thing I would say your video on solving the different types of problems with AI. That for me, I mean, we spoke about this many months ago, so that's kind of been ingrained in me. So I kind of had to take my mind back to when you first showed me that work that you did, which probably would have been around maybe January, December time. And I think when we were talking about it, what I loved was your explanation of we're learning all about the different capabilities of generative AI. And if we think about it through the lens of what we as humans do, be it we'll classify something, we'll apply a label to it, the translation of a language, but in particular, I liked your bit where you said it's not just about language translation, it could be technical jargon translation. How many times have you worked in banking or healthcare and you get a list of abbreviations and acronyms as long as this and you don't understand what it means? It's a great form of translation. And then we had content generation, decision making, all of that good stuff. But it was through that lens of humans are doing this in their day-to-day jobs. We can actually get generative AI to do that. And these are the foundational, I think it was it 8 steps or 8 sort of capabilities that you've got that you could think about solving problems with. I love that because once I understood that and got my head around that, then actually you can look at any challenge you might have in the enterprise with regards to process automation, and generative AI is going to be likely an answer to whatever humans are doing work. So yeah, that was my favorite.
I have stuff to say. I'll just hold off on that. Max, what did you think was something really important? You're on mute, Max.
Not anymore, I'm not. I'm just building anticipation. That's what it is.
Yeah.
For me, it's nice to see that human in the loop. I mean, when we talk about human in the loop in a lot of cases, people see this as just kind of an area for validation, an area to be able to step in when kind of them automations need that little extra helping hand. When in reality, it's not. Human in the loop can be there to enhance automations. And it can be really there to really show how automations can work hand in hand with the human to start speeding up all of these day-to-day tasks. And when we start leveraging these AI skills that we're going to be going through, human in the loop just works hand in hand. It gives everybody that personal assistant that they need to do their job more efficiently, quicker, and I'm not going to say to a higher standard, but it makes it more enjoyable for them. They've got more going on, and it's food for thought.
Yeah. I like the fact that we put it so early in this course. It is foundational to agentic automation. People think agents should handle everything. Well, agents can't handle everything. People can't handle everything. How many times do you call a call center and they have to escalate to a supervisor? There's knowledge that's specialized in different areas. If AI can do 95% of the work, but the 5% that a human touch is still there, without that human touch, you're not getting anything done. Doesn't matter how good the AI is. So being able to reference a human, to borrow some agentic framework conversation, human as a tool where a human can be relied on to solve a specific problem to get the AI back on track, that is super important.
Mhm.
Now, Ali, you talked about the piece on the right here, the solving different types of problems with AI. The biggest reason that I wanted to frame it in this context, if you go on LinkedIn right now, you will see just about every LinkedIn influencer saying AI can do whatever, and they'll just name something. You know, it's I think I've seen people generating fake receipts now, making themselves action figures, and they're making it this magical thing. But none of those things are really relevant to solving problems at organizations. The type of work that actually gets done at organizations that we want AI to do are the things that we have people doing right now. So the inspiration for these references are the work that we do as people. Because if we want to be able to automate it or augment that work, we need the people and the AI to have similar languages. So a non-technical person coming in and looking at a business problem, being able to put what they're doing into this mindset, they can suddenly break down every single thing that's happening in their work domain and turn it into something that are requirements meant for the development of an agent. So that was my inspiration for this. And with that, I think that it will be immune to changes in the future. You know, it doesn't matter how advanced AI gets, when we're trying to turn any business problem into what we want it to do, it's going to be this. Doesn't matter if it's a large language model, doesn't matter if it's some new capability that comes out in 5 years, doesn't matter. The other thing that I wanted to bring up that I thought was important is this APA enablement framework. I think it was the longest video of week one. It might have been, I can't remember, but this, as you'll go through for the rest of the 3 weeks, this drives the leader trail. Every single course fits into one of these boxes, and it'll all culminate with Ali going through every single one of them on a single use case to solve a business problem and plan a pilot and productionize it. So as you go through that video, if you haven't gone through that video, make sure you pay special attention to it. It's going to define the next 3 weeks for you. So Max, you talked about Copilot a little bit indirectly when you mentioned human in the loop. Human in the loop is only possible with something called Process Composer and Automation Copilot. And when you guys signed up for these leader tracks and the developer tracks, you filled out a survey asking you about what knowledge you had about our product. And these were the results that we got. So many of the things that we consider to be core foundational technologies to doing agentic automation aren't very well understood. Surprised to see that enterprise knowledge is as people know about it as much as they do. Awesome. Thank you for the Romeo and Juliet. I'm very happy people are laughing at my jokes because it doesn't happen much in the office. So the enterprise knowledge, I was very surprised to see that people were familiar with it. There's a little bit of debate over here as to whether you thought we were talking about one of our products or if we were just asking you if you knew what your enterprise did. Whichever that was much higher than we expected. But Copilot and Process Composer are products that have been around for about 5 years within our tool. And I've personally deployed things to 12,000 users that could not be deployed otherwise. So I'm really surprised to see that those two foundational things don't have as much knowledge. And fortunately, Max is here for the next 4 weeks to make sure that that purple bar disappears on the AI Agent Studio and AI skills. So with this in mind, what surprised you when you guys saw this? Ali, like, where did you see the most here? What confused you?
It's going to be Process Composer, because I know for everyone that's played around with Automation Copilot, you have gone into Process Composer. So I wondered whether it was us, it being termed Process Composer, and actually when you're in the product, you go create and process. Maybe that confused a few little, or caused some differences there. what I will say, stay with us through the 4 weeks when we start putting everything together in an end-to-end build, and you will become very familiar with Process Composer. There will be no purple bar there. But I'd say that was most surprising. And also, as Matt said, when you're trying to join up a huge automation, it's so much more efficient to have that go through a process. So if you truly haven't explored that, it's super simple, intuitive, and it's so powerful. So yeah, that was a surprise.
And Max, I think every single skill that you build is tied into Process Composer in some way. Is that right?
100%. I mean, when you start stacking all of these skills and start using them together, when you're using Process Composer, it's not a case of using everything that's included within that one single process. It's about working out the best route within that process. And that's the part with it. It's about doing the actions that you need to perform. And yeah, when you go through this, you will see that how all of these individual skills, actually, even though we build them in individual silos, they all work together, and you get benefit from all of them.
Yeah, it is, and it's a nice visual design too. We used to use it at my last place of work to mock up what the flow of an automation would look like before we even got into the technical detail. So it is a very helpful visual tool, besides the fact that it makes some automation easier. So with this in mind, we prepared some activities for week 1, and we're going to have an MVP come up and join us. So I'm not sure if everyone saw it, but in our game plan, we have posted 2 assets for you guys to use internally in your own teams. If you're here by yourself and there's no one else from your company, you can be self-reflective, or you can find someone in the community, just post in the forums. You want to have a chat with people to start talking through these things. But really, these activities that we've provided for you are meant to help you guys identify where your gaps are and work through some things. We're going to focus on the 4th one here, the technical dependencies. Could we bring Rasika up on stage? Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi everyone, I'm Rasika. I have been a part of the MVP program for the last year, and currently I work with Jaguar Land Rover, and I work as an automation developer. To sum up of whatever is going on currently, this great camp which everyone was literally waiting for, because it's like there are a lot of people who want to try things, but there are some background things going on when we cannot give it a try. But providing a control room to do the hands-on, plus the study material, plus some interesting sessions like this, I think you guys are gonna rock it. Yes.
Thank you for that. So let's bring up the other sheet here. This is the other asset that we provided everyone in our forum week 1 game plan. This is meant to help you guys work through those technology gaps that we just pulled up a chart and showed there's clearly a lot of. Down the left-hand side are all of the technologies that we think are core to making APA work at your organization. The point of this is that you can take this to your own team, or if you are the entire team, which I know that exists for some of you, go through this and fill this out yourself. And then you can work with your leaders at your organization to figure out what next steps are possible. As Rasika just mentioned, you do have a playground, so to speak, right now, and will over the next couple of weeks to experiment with many of these and learn how to use them while building agentic process automation. So Rasika, let's go through from top to bottom what you're familiar with. Do you know if your organization has AI agents and AI skills and AI guardrails, or is that something that you don't have access to yet?
It is under progress, to be very honest. It's not like we have done a complete hands-on use case with AI into picture, but yes, it is in progress. There are some things that we try on, while there are alternatives which are mentioned in the list itself, that is large language models, and we have process composers, which are kind of alternatives which we are already trying and already doing it in our day-to-day processing. But yes, we are yet to have a perfect kickstart or a full-fledged kickstart for an AI skill to be utilized.
Yeah. So you do have access to all of these at your organization. You've identified that either whether it's through a POC environment or some other thing. But you're saying you haven't gone through much of the steps. What level of familiarity do you have with some of the foundational stuff like bot runners, I'm hoping would be a 4 or a 5 at least, and
Yeah.
understanding that dependency. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
What
Yes.
about you did mention Process Composer, and we talked about how we were surprised. Process Composer and Automation Copilot, the familiarity really came out to be like a 2 out of 5 on average.
Yes. Yes.
Where's your organization at with Process Composer and Copilot?
We are good to go. We have multiple things running into the org currently, which are utilizing Copilot and Process Composer, and we are in a pretty good shape in terms of those technologies. Yes, and I'm proud of it because I am part of a few. So yeah,
that's great because those are the ones, as Max and I pointed out, those are the ones that are core to human in the loop functioning, right? If you don't have those, your best bet is
yes.
to write it to a SharePoint and have someone update something there, or send an email and have them re-kick off the bot. I'm sure you guys have heard some of those things before. If you're doing those things at your org right now, you could be using Copilot to do it in flight while the bot is running. A pop-up comes up to a person, they make the change, and it's done. So,
Yes.
have you used Automation Cloud Services, formerly known as API tasks? Rasika, have you used API tasks?
We have done a few POCs. Yeah. You able to hear me now?
Yes, can hear you. So you have
Okay,
some
perfect.
POCs
So
for
we have
API tasks.
yes, we have some POCs for API tasks. There are a lot of guidelines that we have to follow. Like some applications have their APIs ready, while some are like which cannot be provided or something like that. We have done it on a minor scale, but yes, proper hands-on, and the team is familiar with it. Yes.
Okay, so at least you have familiarity. It's organizational blockers that are keeping you from really going for it, which I totally get that. You have to make your own outer API wrapper around some application. I've been there. The governance can get complicated, but at least you are familiar with the product. We are currently between Max, myself, and Aaron, who is in the chat. I'm sure he's in the chat. We've orchestrated most of the registration process, most of the sign up process, and all of our auditing process using API tasks. So like it is really powerful what you can do. Orchestrating registration, signups, credential notifications, all of it. 3 or 4 people have automated the process for 6,000 people to register and participate in an event. I think that shows the power of what a couple of these tools can do. Document automation. This is something that might not always be affiliated with APA, but the fact that anything you build can be a tool inside of an agentic orchestrated system means that document automation can be used as part of APA. Do you guys have any doc automation running at your organization? How familiar are you with it?
Yes. So for document automation, one, I would really like to point out on how the training, a part of the training is dedicated to not just say AI, but also help to understand how the current features in automation anywhere are can be used as a tool for AI.
Mhm.
So that is a really amazing part. Instead of going blank, we have something in our hand to which we can stick and at least get going, right? And in terms of document automation, yes, we have it in our organization. Document automation. We are yet to start off with the advanced classifiers. We have the basic ones. We are yet to get an approval for advanced classifiers. But yes, document automation, we have been doing it from a long time. And with the recent IQ bot to DA migration, that also has really benefit.
Awesome. So, with that in mind, it seems like you have familiarity and access to most of these things, but a couple of them, like the large language models and the AI specific ones, you are still working through either governance things or POCs. So, just to share it with everyone, as you would go through this same exercise, you can start identifying next steps, right? Like it could be that you want to go and talk to whoever is in charge of procurement at your organization and tell them, look, we need this functionality because it'll solve these problems with me, or, for us. Or it might be that you have to talk to your customer success manager or account executive because you didn't even know these were offered or what problems they solved. Or your next step might just be tune into AAU, our Automation Anywhere University, and go take some courses on what they are so that you learn what the value is, how to use them, and see if you want to take any other next steps. Ollie, Max, do you have any questions for Rasika on her familiarity or where she's looking to head next?
I was just going to say, Rasika, absolutely an expert on all things document automation. It's probably, I mean, out of 5, she's probably a 6, put it that way. So would teach me a thing or two when it comes to that. So I guess I'm just curious to know, Rasika, where from you as a developer and an MVP, where are you most excited, or what technology are you most excited to try out next? And if you could rip up the rule book on what you're allowed to do at JLR, what technology would you love to just start implementing from tomorrow? Wishful thinking, hey.
I would really like to. Yes. So I would really like to start off with the getting out the difference of using an enterprise knowledge, which is an insider, and an LLM, which is like built outside and being utilized, right? So it is going to be really good to have a proper comparison. Okay, get out the results, like which one would be better, because see, having insider tool, that is enterprise knowledge, will always have an upper hand because it is already in the tool, right? You don't have to do some extra efforts or maybe some extra integrations to utilize it. Whereas an LLM will require something I'm really excited about. I am also excited about the AI Agent Studio because I'm yet to have a proper hands-on on that. But that has these technologies. It has increased the scope to a next level altogether. And as Matt really said it in the beginning, like everyone, you just open LinkedIn and you have AI everywhere. Everywhere it is an AI, 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 AI. So let's not just go with the flow, understand things, implement, because hands-on is something which is really required. You can't just keep on, blabbering things, and you can't just orate them, right? Having a proper hands-on will help you understand things more, help you understand the tool more, thereby, grasping the advantages of what Automation Anywhere has provided us. That's my take on this overall exercise.
That's great. And you'll be happy to know that for the next 3 weeks, you'll get to hear Max walking you through all of those hands-on sessions for AI Agent Studio and building AI skills. So you'll get that experience very shortly.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you so much for joining, chatting through this with us. Everyone, reminder, these assets are available inside of the week 1 game plan that was posted by our next speaker, Lou, inside of our community. If you cannot find them, ping inside the chat. We can share a link in here with all of you, and you can download these assets and work through them at your organization. Having said that, and having mentioned Lou, I am going to allow Lou to walk through some of the community stuff that is happening right now. Lou, feel free to take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. I'm Lou, the Pathfinder Community Manager here at Automation Anywhere. I'm so excited with how engaged our community is in our APA training camp, and wanted to take a quick moment to shout out some of my favorite comments we've received so far this week. I've pulled these from both our Pathfinder community and LinkedIn, and honestly, I just love waking up every morning to a rush of comments that let us know how these courses are resonating with you all and your plans for implementing the learnings into your automation programs. It really is the best. There were so many comments and shout outs to choose from. So thank you everyone for tagging us. We seriously love hearing from you. So with that, I will get started. Starting with Ganesh, one of our MVPs. He said, just kicking off Automation Anywhere's APA training camp in week 1 already blew my mind. He didn't put that, but that's what I imagined he was doing when he wrote that comment. They introduced a powerful 9-dimensional framework designed to drive success in automation plus AI plus process automation, optimization, APA, and I have to say it's a game changer. Thanks, Ganesh. We love that. And Kit said, agents are here to stay, and what better place to learn than a free course on agentic automation? And Kit, I could not agree more. Zaid, I have already referenced your comment like 5 times in conversations. He said, agentic automation is not the future, it's the now. Can't wait to get started. Azar said, I've been leading automation programs for years, and the APA training camp from Automation Anywhere is one of the best time investments I've made lately. Thank you, Azar. I hope everyone else is feeling the same way. Baskar, it's been a great start to learning about agentic process automation. The course is clear, informative, and perfect for anyone interested in the future of smart automation. Looking forward to the upcoming weeks. Matt, Ollie, Max, internalize that. These courses are great. And finally, Prabhu, excited to share that I've successfully completed week 1 of the APA training camp by Automation Anywhere. If you're eager to dive into intelligent automation and boost your AI expertise, I highly recommend you check out this course. Thank you guys so much again, seriously. And if you are not yet a member of our Pathfinder community, head to community.automationanywhere.com to join. I promise it'll be worth your time. We have such a great group of humans there learning and supporting each other every day. Special shout out to Mark and Khaled, who have been helping us in the group, and everyone else supporting your fellow community members. I love your supportive nature, and our community wouldn't be as great of a community without you. So thank you, thank you. On to the next slide. I wanted to bring to everyone's attention our weekly swag discussion series. Each week on Thursday, we will launch a discussion question. And when you respond, you will be added to our swag sweepstake drawing. Then we'll pull the winners the following Wednesday and call them out here during our live training session. We'll also send you a message in the community to let you know that you've won. Today's prompt has been posted, and the question is, what key takeaway or insight from this week's courses resonated with you the most? How do you envision applying this foundational knowledge as we progress in the training camp? So head to the community, respond to the prompt, get a chance to win some super cool new 2025 Pathfinder swag that you all voted on. Matt, Max, Ollie, back over to you.
Just to let you guys know, I have some swag still from when I was a customer from winning these events. They are very awesome. So please do participate and increase your chances of getting them. All right. I want to just end this week before we get to Q&A with a couple of things previewing what you're going to be covering next week. We aren't just doing, these introductory courses, which, as dense as they were, are pretty high level at this point. We're going to start getting into some real hands-on things and some real thought leadership things. So if you are taking the leader track, you are going to go through an entire course on talent management. What skills are you missing? Just like we did with Rasika with the technology thing, there are new skills that are required to make APA work, right? Both from the user perspective and the builder perspective, from the BAs to the product owners. What does that look like? We're going to go through that starting next week. We're also going to look at how to figure out what a specific capability is worth and what types of data might come out of it to make it work better than it's currently working. We're going to start getting into that next week as well. And then everyone's favorite topic, governance, how to handle various levels of risk that AI introduce. Week 2 is not the only week that we cover governance. Week 3 is almost completely dedicated to governance. So you'll have some fun next week dealing with that. And if you're in the developer track, you're going to get to know Max very well over the next couple of weeks. And you're going to get to hear how our speech-to-text engine struggles with his accent every now and then with some really funny translations. We have a course on prompt engineering that's going to set the standard for how you'll build all of your skills going forward. You will get to then build 4 of the skills that you saw hands-on in our control room, writing real skills against real data, interacting with a process, task bots, API tasks, all of it. You'll get to see how all of that starts to come together. You will also get the first of 2 courses on testing generative AI. Generative AI is a bit different than testing bots, and we're going to start going through that. The first of the 2 testing courses comes up next week. All right, let's bring Ali and Max back on the stage, and we're going to start going through some questions because there have been quite a few questions in the chat, and we're going to take those until we run out of time. So first one that I saw, I think there was one about the difference between API tasks, apologies for that, API tasks and task bots. Could we pop that question if we have it available up on the screen? Fantastic. So I'll let Ali, you built quite a bit of the orchestration that we have for registrations and all using task bots, using API tasks versus task bots. Could you share, why you chose one over the other and try to drill into what the differences are, especially to an organization?
Yeah, great question, Umesh. What's the difference between a task bot and an API task? Honest answer, quite a lot. From an architecture perspective, and I see there's already been some awesome answers in the chat as well regarding this. From an architecture perspective, a task bot will run on a device. So it has to go from the control room through your corporate network and the firewall onto your device. That obviously has latency, and because it's a device running on a server, that's got cost associated with it as well. I compare that to an API task, which runs in the cloud control room, so on our architecture. So that the advantage with that is it's faster, at least for the stuff we're doing, absolutely instantaneous. So latency is really low, and you're not paying for any cost as well. Now, in terms of what you can do, actual development work with an API task versus a task bot, obviously it's focused predominantly on hitting endpoints. So you'll be using the REST web packages quite a lot, and the JSON actions as well. So you're only focused on I guess automations that don't need the UI. And honestly, the advantage of that, so we've been doing a lot with the Microsoft packages. So having OAuth connections to Microsoft packages to send emails, write data down into an audit log, which is just an Excel file. Having that happen instantly and not having to worry about something happening on screen, or the age-old problem of the resolution's changed on the device and we've had to implement something hacky to make sure our automations stay working. Not having to worry about that, and to see them schedule and run and complete within seconds. The first time we automated some of the registration process, actually, for this APA event, I thought my API task had errored because it completed in 5 seconds. And I had a look through and was like, oh no, it has just written hundreds of rows of data into our audit log. Of course, in the task bot, that would probably be taking minutes. So yeah, the differences are profound. And honestly, I couldn't go back to task bots now, having jumped in the water that is API tasks.
Yeah. To chime in on that, I have an automation that I've named Audrey that monitors all of our audit logs. So when you guys signed up, you agreed to not misbehave in our control room. We have something watching to make sure nobody's misbehaving. But I'm not manually scrolling through thousands and thousands of AI skill requests. I have an automation that is hitting the audit log with API tasks. I think it generates probably like 2,000 to 3,000 for every single time it runs, pulls them all into an Excel 365 file that's on a shared drive, writes to it, and all of this happens in about a minute. So it's pretty quick for it to be able to execute this quickly. And again, it doesn't tie up my device. So think about how many automations you have at your organization where you're waiting for it to deploy. You've got it scheduled to run at 8, and you're hoping it gets done by 8:30 because at 8:30 you have another automation that's scheduled to run, and you have a bunch of teams that are managing the infrastructure, making sure that the bot runners are working, monitoring the IDs, getting the access to. You don't need to worry about any of that. If there's an API and you can build it with the data associated with that API, you should just build it that way. It's faster, more reliable, runs in the control room, and it does not tie up your runners, decreases the amount of people that you need monitoring resource infrastructure. It's just a nicer solution for a lot of things. Obviously, it means you can't interact with user interfaces. That's the only downside. But if you're not doing that, there's no reason to be using a taskbot. All right. What other questions do we have? Awesome. Not a question, but I like it. Yes,
Well,
I do believe.
The hands-on element, that's all going to be coming next week. So
Yes,
that hands-on
yes,
element
it
there,
Yeah.
that's upcoming.
You will have, how many videos? Is it 8 straight videos of hands-on AI skill building? 4 of them are next week. 1 testing video, which I have provided an asset that you can do hands-on testing with. And it'll all culminate next in 3 weeks where you're building, spoiler, a fully agentic autonomous system within Process Composer. So
Huge spoiler.
yeah, huge spoiler. It was in the introduction video, so.
It was.
How an individual so could you suggest how an individual contributor approach the leading track to progress with our baby automation program? That's a great question. If you are starting up an automation program, a lot of the resources that you might need aren't entirely within what this course covers. But you'll remember from, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd video, the Pathfinder framework that we shared. The Pathfinder framework is focused on how to mature a program. So while APA Training Camp is about how to focus on the APA journey and go from RPA to APA, just getting a program started is another problem altogether. And you can do that using Pathfinder. Could someone in our comments please send the Pathfinder at Automation Anywhere link? And that'll give you guys exactly what you need to get started on that journey. It addresses quite a few things, such as setting a strategy and vision, which I think you would have seen in the aligning to organizational priorities, managing your talent, figuring out what governance you want to put in place, starting from small, building up over time. Yes, you will very much enjoy week 2 and 3. We have courses on how to manage AI risk, how to mitigate or prevent impact to business processes. Week 3, we keep going. There's just tons of governance. I think there's like 4 governance videos in total. It is a large topic, especially in the world of AI.
And just on that as well, with regards to the governance, we're covering exactly how you can manage that whole AI capability. So not just from a sense of being able to monitor what's actually happening under the hood, but also being able to control what your entire team is doing, what they have access to, and speed up development.
That's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that. There's Max, you have some videos on I'm sitting here talking about it like the program level and business processes, but you actually dive in hands-on sessions to how to make sure the right people have the right access to the right things in the control room to make sure that unapproved use cases aren't being built, approved users aren't doing unapproved things, right? That's all covered in your video. So yeah, that's right. And I think one of those was this week, actually, wasn't it?
It is indeed. We touched briefly on governance. I'm kind of like fishing a little bit with the carrot, kind of dangling it in there, getting everyone excited about it. But kind of break the ice, make sure everyone's familiar, and then we dive deeper into it later on in the course as well. Pretty sure that's coming through like week 3 or week 4 on that one. It brings it all together. It does with returns to the governance. Governance is no longer just watching what's actually happening. Governance is full control.
Yeah, preventing things from getting started that shouldn't, and then making sure the things that are started are being done responsibly. Yeah, we've got a lot of videos on that. So Anshu, I hope that you tune in next week and give us your feedback on if they are helpful. Let me scroll through some of these comments to see if we have any. I see there's another question on API tasks. Are there use cases available? So we've actually done a few product clubs associated with API tasks, but I'll just give you one really interesting one. If as part of this whole orchestration thing that we have here, instead of having a bot scheduled to run every 10 minutes to do something and have to deploy packages to a device and then start running and deploying, which is kind of like a person walking into an office and saying, "Hey, boss, got any work for me to do?" An API task can be something that's in the control room, primed, ready to run, and can be called by an external source. So think of having a process that orchestrates multiple data pulls, data aggregation, and then action, all done near instantaneously in the control room on demand. So if you've ever heard of as a service type companies, you could start building API task-based processes at your organization. RPA is a service, so to speak. Publish an endpoint, and it orchestrates data from multiple places. We're kind of doing that here. I've done that at my previous job. It is a very interesting way of approaching automation that a lot of people don't even touch on. All right. Were there any other really interesting questions? I'll scroll through here. Ali, Max, if you have any last words for people heading into week 2, feel free to share.
The one thing that I will say is when we're going through the skills, and I'm going to talk about the hands-on part here, and when you're looking at AI skills, and this is a case of not even during the sessions, if you're using AI skills, make sure that you're already experimenting. AI skills deployment itself is a way that you can really make sure that everything's working as it should be. And remember, when it comes to AI, we're not showing you how to do it just the one time. The trick with AI is being able to get that exact same result 1,000 times. If you're doing the exact same prompt and you're wanting a specific result back, it's easy to get the same result back once. But you start pushing that prompt through, if you haven't got the correct framework or anything behind it, it's going to start kind of putting up with a little bit of nuisance and commentary around it, and even the slightest little bit an additional comma. Like if you're getting a JSON, having a note of JSON right at the top, it's enough to screw the automation up completely. So it's about making sure that you are getting the results correct every single time.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason that we have the CoStar thing as the leading video. CoStar framework is a prompt engineering framework to help you write prompts effectively. We're setting that as the standard, and then we're doing a bunch of skills after it, because it's we don't want you to come away with this thinking, okay, I can solve this problem now. We want you to come away thinking, I can solve classification now. I can solve extraction now. And whatever use case you have, if you're able to identify that it's a classification problem, you'll be able to build your own prompt and solve all of your problems, not just the one that we're sharing with you for training camp.
I just want to say that CoStar framework as well. So that is, test myself, context, objective, style, tone, audience response.
So we get him the certification. Yeah.
My experience of using LLMs is the quality of output you get from them is directly proportional to the quality of your prompt. And CoStar, for me, is almost like the cheat code to writing a good prompt. Once I filled that in, you should test it out in the sandbox. Don't try one with CoStar following all Max's guidance, and then just do one as if you were writing it shorthand. The output difference is profound. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I find it fun when people say, I'll hear from the same friend group. Half of them will say AI sucks, it doesn't do anything. The other half say it's changed their life. And I guarantee you it's because they're writing their prompts or interacting with it the wrong way. They don't know what to say. They don't know what they're actually trying to do. They're not giving the right instructions. They don't get the right results. So LLMs can only do so much for you. You have to understand the problem you're trying to solve. All right. Well, I don't see any more questions popping up that aren't going to either be addressed next week in training or are just, around the periphery. So I'm going to wrap up this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to the week 2 game plan coming in from our community within the next couple of days, and have fun getting hands-on next week and diving in deep. Thank you, Ali and Max, for coming. Rasika, thank you again for a wonderful conversation. Lou, thanks for sharing the community information with us. See you guys again next week. Have fun.
Cheers, everyone.